Thinking of you, how did the meeting go? Then wait. An hour, two. The little tick says it was delivered. Nothing's coming back. What happens inside you in that gap? Not what you think, what you feel. First, the checking of the phone. The second, the story that starts to build. Did I say something wrong? Are they ignoring me? That gap and what your nervous system does inside it is what this whole episode is about. If any of that sounds familiar, you're not broken. You're not too much. Your nervous system may be doing exactly what it learned to do long before this relationship began. I'm Dr. Narelle Duncan, a clinical psychologist, drawing on 30 years of helping people understand themselves. This is Steady and Connected. Each episode, I'll bring you the science, the tools, and the clarity to understand what may be happening when anxiety shows up in love and what you might do with that understanding. Let's get steady and connected. Today, I want to take you into one of the most common patterns I see, what we call anxious attachment. Not as a label or a diagnosis, but as a pattern, a particular shape your nervous system has learned to take in close relationships. We're going to slow down and look at what it actually is, how you might recognize it in yourself, and where it can come from. Without judgment, just clearly. Because self-recognition is often where this kind of change can begin. Let's name it plainly. What I've just described, the watching, the reaching, the story building in the gap, can be the experience of what we call anxious attachment. I want to be careful with that phrase because it gets thrown around a lot, so here's what it means and what it doesn't. It is not a diagnosis. It is not a disorder. It is not a label you are stuck with. It's a pattern, a way a nervous system has learned to do closeness. If you listen to episode 1, you'll remember the attachment template, the lens your nervous system uses to read every relationship. Anxious attachment is one particular shape that lens can take. At its core, it's a nervous system that learned, somewhere along the way, that connection can be uncertain, and so it watches closely and it reads gaps and silences as something to resolve quickly. Hear this clearly. It is, at heart, a bid for safety. Not too much, not neediness. A system trying to keep a connection it cares about from slipping away. And this is a general picture of a pattern, not a description of you specifically. Only you can know what fits. So how might this show up? I'll offer some of what nervous systems shaped this way tend to do. Notice what lands and notice what doesn't. Monitoring. You might find yourself reading the other person closely. Tone, speed of reply, the warmth of flatness of a word for signs the connection is okay. The gap is hard. Distance, a slow reply, a quiet evening, time apart can be the hardest part. The system doesn't easily settle until contact is restored. The pull to act. There can be a pull to do something. Text again, check, ask, are we okay? Over-explain. Or sometimes the opposite. Go cold to protect yourself. Tending the other first. A lot of energy can go into managing the other person's mood, sensing it, smoothing it, keeping the peace, sometimes before you've noticed your own. The inner story, and underneath a story that can run quickly to they're pulling away or I've done something wrong, often faster than the facts can keep up. If several of those feel familiar, that's information, not a verdict. If they don't, that's information too. There are other patterns and we'll get to them. And one important thing, none of this means there is something wrong in your relationship. It's about what your system does with uncertainty, not proof of what's actually happening. Where does a pattern like this come from? Usually the same place episode 1 pointed to, early relational experience. But here's the specific flavour. When closeness in the early years was inconsistent, sometimes warm and available, sometimes not, and hard to predict which, a nervous system can learn a particular lesson. Connection is precious and it is not guaranteed, so stay alert. Inconsistent isn't the same as bad. A caregiver can be loving and still, through stress or circumstance, be unpredictable in their availability. The system isn't judging anyone, it's adapting to what it met. An unpredictable closeness is, in a way, the most activating kind, because the system never gets to fully relax and never gets to fully give up, so it keeps watching. These were adaptations that made sense in the environment you were in at the time. They are not choices you made, and they came with you into the relationships you have now. If you'd like to see which attachment pattern is most active for you, that's exactly what the free quiz at steadyandconnected.com.au looks at. It's for self-reflection, not a clinical assessment. And your results come to your inbox with a short series that goes deeper on what they mean for you. Here's the part that matters most to me, because it's where people get hurt. From the outside, anxious attachment can look like too much, too needy, too sensitive, too intense. From the inside, it's none of those things. It's a system working hard to protect a bond it values, sounding an alarm and reaching for reassurance to quiet it. When the person experiencing it believes the outside story, I'm too much, that adds a second layer on top of the first, the anxiety, and then the shame about the anxiety. And when the people around them believe it too, the reaching gets read as pressure and pulls the very connection the system is trying to protect. So a lot of this work is simply correcting the misread, seeing the pattern for what it is, not a flaw, a protection. Let's go back to that unanswered message. 2 hours, no reply. Walk it through gently. The monitoring, checking the screen, rereading your own words. The gap, the part the system finds hardest to sit in. The pull to act, send another, ask if they're cross, go quiet. The story, they're ignoring me, arriving well ahead of any evidence. And now you can see it for what it might be, not proof of anything between you, but your attachment system doing the job it learned, watching, reaching, trying to keep something it values safe. That's not weakness, That's a pattern with a history doing what it was shaped to do. I said at the start that self-recognition is often where this kind of change can begin. Here's why. You can't work with a pattern you can't see, and you can't see it clearly while you're busy being ashamed of it. The moment you can say, this is my attachment system and it's reaching, something shifts, not the feeling necessarily, but your relationship to the feeling. It stops being, what's wrong with me, and becomes, here's a pattern I can understand, doing what it does. The second layer, the shame, can start to loosen. Recognition doesn't fix the pattern, but it's the ground everything else is built on. You can't change what you won't look at kindly. So here's the one thing for this week. Just one. We're building on the noticing from episode 1. The next time you feel that pull, the gap, the checking, the story starting up, see if you can name it quietly to yourself. This is my attachment system reaching for reassurance. That's it. You don't have to fix it, talk yourself out of it, or stop the feeling. Just name it and let it be a pattern you recognize rather than a verdict on who you are. And if you can, notice what happens to the shame layer when you name the first layer accurately. Often, not always, it eases just a little. Naming is not nothing. It's how a pattern stops running you from the dark and starts becoming something you can see. If you'd like a quiet companion to walk with you across the week, I've made you a one-page guide called Name It, Recognizing the Pattern. It's at go.steadyandconnected.com.au/name-it. Free, and it's yours to keep. Next time, we go a layer deeper into the biology, into why your nervous system can treat the person you love most as the one it watches most closely. It sounds strange. It's actually the logical end of everything we talked about today. If you've taken the free quiz at steadyandconnected.com.au, your results already point toward whether this is the pattern most active for you. If you haven't, that's a good place to start. That's everything for this episode. If today resonated, follow Steady and Connected wherever you listen, so the next episode lands automatically. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, share it with them. If today's conversation has brought up anything you need support with, please reach out. Lifeline is available 24/7 on 13 11 14. And if you'd like to explore working with me individually, I offer telehealth sessions at getlifedirection.com. I'm Dr. Narelle Duncan. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next episode.